Margaret Williams had not seen her son in 3 long years. Margaret Williams had not seen her son in 3 long years. Every evening, she sat on the wooden bench outside her small house, staring at the dusty road that led out of the village. Sometimes she counted the months on her fingers. Other times, she counted the sacrifices buried deep in her heart. She remembered the nights she went to bed hungry so Paul could eat, the days she sold her wrapper to pay his school fees, the tears she wiped away quietly so her son would never see her pain. Every day, Margaret prayed for Paul Williams. God, she whispered often, just let him be okay. One hot afternoon, a young man arrived in the village. His clothes were neat, his shoes polished, and his confidence obvious. Villagers whispered as he walked past. When Margaret greeted him, he smiled warmly. "Ma," he said politely, "I know your son, Paul Williams. We worked together in the city." Margaret froze. "My son?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Yes," the young man replied. "My name is Michael. Paul is doing very well now. He lives in a fine house and drives a good car. Everyone respects him." Margaret's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but pride. "So my suffering was not in vain," she murmured. Michael gave her some money and a small card with an address written on it. "Use this to visit him," he said kindly. "He will be happy to see you." That night, Margaret could not sleep. She imagined Paul running toward her, calling her mama, thanking her for everything. Her heart was full of hope. Before dawn, Margaret woke up quietly. She tied her old wrapper, packed cooked food in a small container, Paul's favorite. She whispered a short prayer and began her journey. The road to the city was long and exhausting. Her body ached, her feet swelled, but hope pushed her forward. When she finally arrived at the address on the card, she stood outside the gate, nervous but smiling. Her hands trembled as she adjusted her wrapper. "My son lives here," she whispered to herself. Inside the house, Paul Williams was dining with friends. The room was bright, laughter echoed, soft music played in the background. Margaret gathered courage and knocked. The door opened. For a brief second, Paul's eyes met hers. Recognition flashed across his face. Then fear, then shame. He quickly masked it. Turning to his friends, Paul said loudly, "Woman, we don't need a house help here." The room went silent. Margaret's heart skipped. "My son." "Paul." "It is me," she said softly. Paul's voice hardened. "Madam, leave this place before I call security." The gate was opened. She was pushed out. People stared. Whispers followed her. Laughter pierced her heart like knives. Her legs trembled as she walked away, tears soaking her wrapper. By the roadside, Margaret collapsed onto the ground and cried. That was when a black Jeep slowed down and stopped beside her. A well-dressed man stepped out. "Madam," he asked gently, "why are you crying?" Between sobs, Margaret told him everything, how she suffered, how she sold her belongings to train her son, how Paul Williams denied her like a stranger. The man listened quietly, his face growing darker with every word. When she finished, he said calmly, "Come with me." The man, Mr. Richard Bennett, took Margaret to his house. He gave her food, bought her new clothes. After she had rested, he looked at her and asked, "Can you take me to your son's house?" When they arrived, Mr. Bennett froze. "This is the house of my new company manager," he said slowly. Anger filled his eyes. He knocked. The door opened. Paul's face drained of color when he saw them. Mr. Bennett spoke with authority. "So this is how you treat the woman who gave you life?" He removed the car key from Paul's hand, collected his official documents. "You are fired," he said coldly. "Leave this house immediately." In minutes, the life Paul was proud of disappeared. Mr. Bennett turned to Margaret. "Any man who disrespects his mother does not deserve success." He gave her a large sum of money and asked her to start a business. He arranged an apartment in the city for Margaret and her husband, Joseph Williams. For the first time in years, Margaret slept in peace. Paul Williams returned to the village with nothing but shame. And the world learned a painful truth. If you are ashamed of your parents, life will one day teach you humility, sometimes too late.